Diana again. How y'all doing? How you like my new intro? I've had a lot of folks that say I remind them of a William Faulkner play with my accent. So I thought I'd give you something that feels William Faulknerish. All right. So tonight, I'm going to try not to be quite as fidgety and nervous acting as I was last time. But I had on false eyelashes, and it seemed like they kept irritating me, and my hair kept getting in my eyes, and my dress was malfunctioning, and for some reason this bed kept irritating me. So tonight I'm going to try to do a little bit better. So I do have a story that I've been wanting to tell y'all about. I've not really talked about this through the years. It was a very emotional situation for me, very important. It's about my first crush that I had on a boy, and that happened right here in Mississippi when I was going to school. I think I was about 16 when this really took place. Or maybe I was 17, I don't remember. It was about that time. And this boy, I knew him in school, and when I was in classes with him, he was such a bully. He liked to pick on me because, of course, I was feminine acting. And he started going with someone I knew. And then my parents and I, we lived in town at the beginning of my school year that year, we moved into the country. And so happened to be right down the road from this guy. So over time, I started riding with him back and forth, and we became friends. I mean, it was uncharacteristic for both of us to be friends with somebody who taunted me in school, and for him to be friends with someone that he, obviously wanted to make fun of. But we did become friends. And then one day he comes and tells me that this person that he was going with told him that I was a transsexual and that I planned to have sex change surgery. I don't know whether she did that so that we wouldn't be friends anymore or to shock him. I don't know, because that was personal information that I had given her and her sister. And for her to go telling that to somebody else was really, she had overstepped her bounds of confidentiality. And I was real concerned about that after that. But it didn't seem to bother him at all. He actually wanted to start hanging out more. He would start coming by the house and watching television with me in my bedroom, because our house was an old house, and I had one of the front bedrooms, and it was so big it had a sofa and a chair and a TV area other than just the bedroom area. And it had a little private entrance from there that went into the kitchen, and I could go in there and fix snacks and things in the evening. And some evenings he'd come and have supper with the family. And we just became really close. And we would both talk about our deepest secrets and things, and that was going on in our lives and what we wanted our lives to be. And he eventually wanted to see my female side. So I started dressing up And he got where he wanted to see it more and more often. He thought I was very attractive. He said I was beautiful and I would make a beautiful lady and would make somebody a good wife one day. That was his words. And somehow during this time, him and his girlfriend broke up. And when that happened, then of course he spent more and more time at my house. And then one weekend, his parents were going out of town, and he asked could he spend the night, spend the weekend actually. So I said, okay, that's fine. And we watched television that night, and, you know, all the evenings that I would cook him snacks and things and bring in there while we watched television, I felt like we were courting. And I know that I was probably building more into it than what it was, but what heterosexual guy is going to spend that much time with a known transsexual? I couldn't see that it was really appropriate. But so I had all these expectations in my mind, all this crush that I was developing on this boy. But there was no sexual relationship between us. Never had been, never would be. But that night, I remember him saying that his back hurt, and I don't know whether he asked me to or whether I did. I gave him a back massage, and then we decided to go to sleep. That's all there was. Nothing else. Not even much talking after that. I think he probably went to sleep while I was rubbing his back. So I remember that I woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. And when I came back, he was gone. He had opened the window in the bedroom that went on to the front porch. And he was gone. His car was gone. I was like, I had no idea what happened. So, well, I know the next morning, his ex-girlfriend and her sister came by the house to say that he had come over there that morning to tell them that he had spent the night and that he woke up in the middle of the night and I was doing oral sex on him. So they basically called me a dick-sucking queer, and how they didn't want to have anything else to do with me, and they left. So I knew automatically that was some kind of mistake here. It was either a lie or it was something he thought might have happened while he was having a dream or something. All I know is that I knew for a fact I didn't do that. I had never done that before yet in my life. I didn't learn to do that until I was over 18 and moved to Charlotte, and someone had to teach me how to do it. All I know is I was never a predator. I was never one to instigate anything. I've always been submissive, and I've always been led into anything I've ever done, even with people who turned out to be husbands. Men always made the first move. So I know nothing like that would have ever happened. And I was humiliated that these people would think that I would do that. I had known these two girls all my life, and I had loved them like my sisters. So for them to believe that boy over me, it really hurt me deeply. And I was hurt by his betrayal because I thought we were friends, if nothing else. And it broke my heart because I had such a crush on him. I cried and cried for weeks. I would have to go out into the woods just to cry so that my mama wouldn't catch me crying and ask what was going on. So whenever they found out about my plans to go to New Orleans and decided to drag me back to North Carolina. I went willingly because I was brokenhearted. I wanted to get away from there so that, I didn't have to feel the pain anymore. So I didn't have to worry about somebody coming behind me and knocking me in the head over the crap these people had told. And it wasn't long after this happened that I was in Columbus. I was in a restaurant. Some people will remember Del Camino's, which was a nightclub that played blues music. And to one side, they had a restaurant. Well, I had a cousin that was the waitress in the restaurant. And I was in there eating, and this boy and all his friends, his roughneck friends, came in. They were calling me all kind of queer, faggot, all kinds of names, telling me to come outside. They were going to teach me what a Mississippi boy did to a faggot. I wasn't no kind of fool. I wouldn't have went out for the first one, much less a group of them. I was not a fighter. I was a lady. They had to threaten to call the police to get those boys to leave. But they snuck me through this entrance from the restaurant into the nightclub. And even though I wasn't but 17, I sat in the corner and listened to blues music the rest of the evening. And finally, with my tail between my legs, I snuck myself back into Noxubee County on the farm. But those girls, they don't even have anything to do with me to this day. And they're relatives of mine. That hurt me. And I've never gotten over it to this day. But I'm back here. I've been here for 30 years and nobody's shot me yet. But I don't mess with any of these local folks. Not in that way. I've not dated or tried to date any of these people. So, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. All right, y'all. Good night. Love y'all.